welcome to Mystery Us. I'm Tony Pratt, your host for Mystery Us, and today we have a very fascinating, intriguing musical guest on our show, who is the founder of the Dewdrop Jamboree in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Larry Martin. Welcome to Mystery Us, Larry.
Hey, buddy. Thank you.
Good to meet you. Now, you started the Dewdrop Jamboree when and how did that all come about?
Well, last year was our first season.
Mm-hmm.
I had an idea, had been floating around in my head for a while, to start a family show where you could bring the kids or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
not a bar situation.
Right.
I've been in bars playing for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So then I mentioned it to another friend of mine, Pat Jackson, who had just retired from MTSU after 30 years in the TV film department over there.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought it was an idea, so I knew there was a venue over there at the Patterson Park Community Center called the Washington Theater, which was a 300-seat theater. I had already done a gospel musical show over there 5 years ago, something like that, so I knew the facility.
Right.
So we checked with it and had some dates that we could get. We decided to go at it, and of course I've got a lot of friends that are in the music business, and Pat had quite a few friends, so we just started calling on our friends for the first show, to help us with the talent and everything. Just
So
kind of
it's
blossomed.
definitely a family-friendly event. Do you have alcohol there? Or no alcohol.
No
Okay.
smoking, no alcohol.
Wow. Well, that's great. And it's all bluegrass, right? Or
Oh, no.
You
It's
throw all kind of stuff in there.
Yeah. It's like classic country, bluegrass, gospel, Americana, blues, a little rock and roll, rockabilly. We do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the videos where you were playing some rock and blues and stuff. I didn't know if that was part of the Dewdrop Jamboree or not.
Oh yeah.
Very cool. So, and a lot of these bluegrass groups, though, are kind of a family type thing. It's a family group.
Yeah, kind of. Some of them are, that I've run across. I've had a couple of family groups on there. I have a harder time finding bluegrass groups than I do just single performers, for some reason.
Right.
I'm not in the bluegrass circuit, you might say. So.
Yeah. How did you get started in music in general?
Well, I had a band all through high school, which was many, many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kept playing. I played when I was in the service back in the early 70s. I had a band even there, and I came out and formed a band in 1975. We're still performing, although we've gone through a couple of name changes. The members are pretty much the same as they were in 1975. So I've been playing, I guess, as soon as I got out of high school. I started playing, bars, Lower Broadway, here or there, all the places that you play. So yeah, that's kind of how I got started at it.
So now you play guitar?
I'm a bass player.
Bass guitar.
Yeah, you don't want to hear my guitar playing. It's probably not that good, but no, I play bass most of the time in front of the band.
Mm-hmm.
Now on the show over there, it's a little bit different because it's done like a Grand Ole Opry kind of show, except on a local basis. I come out and kick the show off, do a couple of songs, bring on other people for the rest of the show,
Now, who have you got coming up? You got a show coming up March 19th, right?
Right.
Because you do this more than once a year.
Well, last year we had 6 shows.
Wow, that's every other month. That's great.
It depends on what kind of time we can get at this theater venue, because it's owned by the city, and if the city parks and recreation wants something to do something, then they have first priority. Even if I've got the date booked, they can bump me off of it if they want to do a play or something like that. So I just have to contend with that. So the shows that they've given me so far this year are like March 19th, May the 7th, and July 16th, and that's as far as they've given me so far.
Right. Now you've got a song, I think it's a country song, called Another Glass.
Another Glass.
I really like. That's a really great. It's like a classic country song, but I just heard it, of course. Yeah. Recently.
Well, I wrote it probably 30 years ago when I lived in California. I was out there for several years.
Well, that's why it's got the feel to it, like it's classic.
Well, then it's according to who I play with. If I play it with the country band, it has a country feel to it with steel guitar and fiddle and stuff. But if I play it with my band, we're a rhythm and blues rock and roll band with a saxophone player, so it has a little bit different feel to it.
Yeah, that reminds me, it's like my dad. My dad was, you know, one of the first people to, you know, start playing country music with rock instruments and with more of a blues type feel and stuff. And of course they tell him that ain't country. You know?
Yeah, well, I just play my brand of country. You know, we even with my rhythm and blues band, some occasions you get asked to play something like Rocky Top or something, you know, and so we do our own version of, you know, those kind of songs.
It's all music. I mean, you could do Rocky Top, you could do rock and roll version.
Well, ours is kind of rock and roll because the guitar player is definitely not a country guitar player.
Right. So I was going to ask you about the bluegrass, if they electrify their instruments, or how is that going in the bluegrass world today? Are they
some of them are being real traditionalists, you know, and then some of them are, I know some are adding, like Daly and Vincent, they have a show on and they have drums with them and, you know, everything, even though they're considered bluegrass. They're stretching it out just a little bit, you know.
Right.
And I've noticed more and more the bluegrass guys are traveling at least using electric basses and not as many upright. Now, if you're real traditional, though, they're going to use that upright. Like the bluegrass bands that come on our show, all of them have used the upright bass, you know. Even though we plug them into a direct box, an amplifier, you know, they're still using the big upright.
Right, and it's more of a skill. I mean, in other words, you can't rely on the kind of electronics to kind of help you out on playing when you're playing bluegrass, right? Or that's what they say.
Well, that's
the purists.
They're not putting a bunch of pedals on it and stuff like that. You know, they're pretty straightforward.
Of course, my dad, you know, he always had, you know, fiddles and mandolins and, you know, Sam Bush and everybody on all the stuff that he produced and things. So, I mean, bluegrass players can really play anything. I mean, the closest thing I would look at it would be almost like classical.
Well, they get pretty technical in their playing sometimes.
Yeah, of course, a lot of them probably, you know, don't necessarily read music or train.
I don't read music. You know, I just
play by ear. Or?
I play by ear. I can do the Nashville number system. Right. You know, if I'm sitting down doing a session.
If you do the Nashville number system, you can do the sessions then.
So that's
all you need to know.
Because I have a recording studio in Murfreesboro.
Right.
So yeah, you know.
What's the name of your studio?
It's a Studio One recording.
Okay.
So we've been over there for, gosh, I think this is our 12th year or something. And we mostly are just a songwriter studio, demo studio, although we've turned out CDs out of there. We're basically a songwriter studio, you know.
And what's the name of your band?
My personal band is called The Future.
The Future. Okay.
Not to be confused with the group that shows up here in Nashville from time to time called The Future. I think they're from Indiana. Okay. But I've been The Future for a long time.
What kind of band are they?
I have no idea.
Okay. So they could be some totally different kind of future.
Yeah, I don't have any idea. But mine, and we're not, you know, we're playing retro music. You know, the name of the band is Future, but everything we're doing is 60s and 70s and 80s rock and roll, you know.
Right, cool. So do you do a lot of cover songs or just mainly your own stuff? Or
with the band, we mix it up. We do a lot of covers, you know, dance covers, that kind of thing. And then we do a lot of original music. I write all the original music. Some of them are, you know, like the ballad you heard, Another Glass. But then we do some pretty much fun.
We'll play Another Glass here in a second, and then
yeah, and that's, you know,
I'll just insert that in here.
That's a live version, so you have to take what you get when it's on a live version like that.
Another glass of whiskey and one more cigarette. I could sit here all night long, but I won't forget, 'cause your memory lingers. You're with me all the time, and I just can't drink enough to get you off my mind. But I'll drink till I've drunk enough to think that I'm strong enough to face the truth and start living without you. Yes, I'll drink till I've drunk enough to think it's been long enough for the pain to die. And there's no need to cry over you like I'm crying over you. I'm always talking about you. You're always on my mind. You were the sunshine of my life. You really made it shine. And I wish that I had given you the things that I wanted to. Maybe you'd be here with me. I wouldn't be missing you. So I'll drink till I've drunk enough to think that I'm strong enough to face the truth and start living without you. I'll drink till I've drunk enough to think it's been long enough for the pain to die. And there's no need to cry over you like I've been crying over you. Play it, boy. Last glass of whiskey, and I'm almost out of cigarettes. I've been here all night long, I won't forget, 'cause your memory lingers even after all this time. And I'll never drink enough to get you off my mind, but I'll drink till I've drunk enough to think that I'm strong enough to face the truth and start living without you. Yes, I'll drink till I've drunk enough to think it's been long enough for the pain to die. And there's no need to cry over you like I've been crying over you. Yes, I'm crying. Yes, I'm crying. Oh, I'm crying. And it's over you. Yes, I'm crying. Yes, I'm crying. Oh, I'm crying over you. Thank you kindly. I appreciate that a whole bunch.
But then with the band, we do some hard rocking songs, some songs with some funk beat to it, and stuff like this.
So who all have you got lined up for this?
For this show,
Dewdrop?
we have a guy coming from Ohio, his first time on the show. His name is John Crabtree. I think he records for Century 2 Records here in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming down. And let's see who all's on the show. Hands of Time is the bluegrass band we've got this time. I've got a young girl named Kelsey Keith. She's 16, and man, she does a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Another girl that's from Chattanooga, her name is Teresa Camp. Who else is on the show? Rhonda Brazel Tenpenny, who's with me almost every show. And she sings backup with me. Pat Jackson, who helped me start the show last year, he's on this show.
And what kind of styles of music do they all play? Are they all bluegrass?
Well, Pat will probably do some Western swing. That's
Okay.
what he usually does.
So you got both kinds of music in Nashville,
Yeah, country and Western.
there you
Yeah,
go.
we got both of them. And he'll do a little Western swing. Those other girls I mentioned, they'll do some either classic country or something that's kind of close on the charts now, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
And then I've got one guy, L.B. Farrell, who actually he's a mentor of mine. He gave me my first job back when I wasn't even out of high school yet, and started playing with him at the band called L.B. Farrell and the Starlighters. Now L.B.'s 78 years old now, so he's moving on up in age, and he hadn't been playing at all in the last several years, and I got him to come out last year and perform on the show, and he got a big kick out of it, and all of his fans just loved it. So he's on the first show this time. He actually had a show that he was part of back in the early 70s called the Middle Tennessee Jamboree, which is kind of where this idea came from, because I was associated with that one back in my early days.
Right.
And so that was the kind of show I was wanting to put on again. And that's the kind of show that we're doing. You know, it's just a good family show.
Yeah, and is this a charitable event, or is it?
Well, this year we've gone with non-profit status.
Okay.
Of course, the show is the Dewdrop Jamboree, but we're under the umbrella of the American Musical Arts Group, which is a non-profit group that helps preserve not just country music, but all American music genres, you know, all of them.
Cool.
Or all of them that we have access to where we are. And we don't include opera in that kind of stuff, because that's not really American music, you know. We're trying to get the things that kind of started here in America, you know, like country, bluegrass, rock and roll definitely started here, you know. Blues pretty much started here. So.
Absolutely.
So we just try to preserve those and let people come that are performing those styles of music, you know.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of new forms of music out there, although, I mean, music is music. I mean, really.
Yeah.
If you switch the singer or the instruments, and it can change, you can play the same song, but it'll become a different genre.
Oh yeah. Some of the new country loses me a little bit, you know, because it sounds almost like rock music that we were playing in the 70s and 80s, you know, because it doesn't have, they're not putting the steel guitar and the fiddles on there anymore. They're just rocking it up.
They're kind of playing country with rock instruments, you know.
Yeah, and we had country rock, you know, back, you know, the Eagles were considered country rock, and Marshall Tucker was considered country rock, and Charlie Daniels pretty much was country rock. But now these definitely have a rock edge on them, you know, with the effects and stuff they're using in the studios and everything.
So everything except no hip hop and no.
We're not doing much hip hop and rock.
So is this an outdoor event or
indoor?
indoor?
No. This is indoor. Patterson Park Community Center is a fairly new place in Murfreesboro. They have an indoor pool, indoor track, indoor handball, and they have this nice theater in there that has really nice sound and lights in it. A lot of people don't know about it. A lot of people ask me, is this outdoors? Because they don't know that they have that.
How many
theater.
seats are in the theater?
310.
310, okay.
So, and we try to fill that up, you know. We need all 310.
Can people make reservations, or do they?
No, we just sell tickets at the door. They're $10, you know. We don't charge a whole lot for tickets, and we tried to sell some in advance last year, and it turned out that more people just wanted to buy them at the door, so we quit advance tickets and just sell them at the door. And the doors usually open at 5 or 5:30.
Is there a website or somewhere where they can get?
Well, we have our own page. It's the original Dewdrop Jamboree on Facebook.
Okay.
We don't have a website, but we do have our own Facebook page, which has who's going to be on the show, lots of pictures and videos from the past shows from last year. You know, I've got a couple of promos on there I'm doing for the upcoming show that we just shot.
So if anybody wants to, you know, be a sponsor for the Dewdrop Jamboree, they can contact you.
Personally, yeah, me,
email,
because I take care of all of that, everything.
Is your email up there? Or?
I'm not sure if my email's on that or not. I do have an email
Or should they just
address.
contact you through Facebook?
They can do it on Facebook. On the page, there's a phone number. They can call the phone number.
Okay.
I'm not sure if the email address is up there or not. I don't remember if the email address is there.
Well, you
or
want
not.
to give the email address out? Or?
All right, you can do the email at martinfarms@comcast.net.
Okay, what time does the show start?
The show starts at 6 p.m.
Okay.
and we usually, the doors are open by 5:30, sometimes maybe a little bit before that, but they're always
Okay.
open by 5:30.
How
to
did you
get
come up with the
people in.
name Dewdrop Jamboree?
Well, I wasn't trying to come up with a name, but there's a man that came out of Murfreesboro named Uncle Dave Macon, and they still have a festival for him over there every year in July. They called him the Dixie Dewdrop. He was the first superstar off the Grand Ole Opry, and that was his nickname, the Dixie Dewdrop. And that just popped into my head when I was considering doing this show, and I thought, Dewdrop, something along with the dewdrop.
Yeah.
That just kind of brings that in with the show, you know, because he was from that area and he was pretty popular.
And that's Uncle Dave Macon.
Uncle
right?
Dave Macon.
Yeah, my dad loved him. He went to all kind of his events and stuff.
Yeah.
I just thought he was the best ever.
And
But
he
he's
was.
passed
he was,
away now.
Oh, he's been dead for many, many years.
Yeah.
I think he died like 1 year after I was born or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. My parents used to listen to him all the time and knew him because he would run a freight wagon because he was a late starter on the Grand Ole Opry, you know, in his career. He didn't start till he was like almost 50 years old.
Yeah.
He was driving freight back and forth with mules between Woodbury and Murfreesboro. That's what he did for a living.
Wow.
Yeah. But then he had the unique way with that banjo, and when they got him on the Opry, he just stole the show.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't recall, you know, seeing him live or anything.
Oh, no,
I've
no,
seen
no.
some videos, but it's been a while.
He did one movie back then that a bunch of them was in called Grand Ole Opry. That's what it was called. Roy Acuff was in it. Uncle Dave Macon was in it. Some of those early people. I didn't. This year, I have some people that are behind the show. I Woke Up Well Distributing, and they make a product called Willow Bomb, which I'll give you two before I leave.
Yeah.
And so this year, we're filming each show, and we're going to make 30-minute TV shows out of it, which will be going on, I'm not sure which networks, Heartland or RFD or some of those networks. That's what they wanted to do. They went and bought 5 cameras so they could shoot it like they wanted to shoot it. And so we're looking forward to
And the
doing
Willow
that.
Bomb is a painkiller, right?
Oh yeah, a natural painkiller that
Natural.
uses willow bark, which is the original painkiller from, you know, ancient times.
Right.
And so they've incorporated in it. Actually, it's a patented formula that they have. And I'm going to give you a tube of it. Everybody that uses it likes it.
And I saw a commercial. Now, how are you? Is that your product? Or?
It's not my product. I'm just their spokesperson. So if you've seen any of their commercials, you've seen probably me or my dog in the commercials because we're the official spokespeople.
Well, we'll run one of those commercials in here just to.
Yeah, we have.
See,
I think there's 3 different commercials and then a spot with my dog.
Yeah, cool. And you've got several commercials or people that are sponsors that you've done commercials for that are on the Facebook page that are really, really well done, really interesting. And I saw a animated
it might have been for the Exterminator.
little cartoon for the Exterminator.
Yeah.
That was really cute.
Yeah, we did that for him last year because he didn't have anything, and everybody else was coming up with something to put on theirs. I didn't want him to feel left out, so we just put one together.
Yeah, that's real cute. If we have time, we'll put that on the show here too.
And then Sir Pizza's one of my big, and you probably know of them from being here in Middle Tennessee. They've been around a long time, and they always help me on the shows and bring pizzas backstage, and everybody loves that when the pizzas show up backstage, you know.
Yeah, I like Sir Pizza. I used to eat at Sir Pizza, I believe, in Madison.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, we have 4 over there in Murfreesboro.
Wow.
And the guys that started the Sir Pizza, I went to high school with them, and so they've been over there since 1968. That's when they came down. I think they moved down here from Indiana. That's where they came from. And everybody over there loves Sir Pizza.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it's just a
They got
good
great
product.
pizza. Absolutely. That's the #1 thing. Food services have good food.
That's right.
Yeah,
And they wouldn't have been in business almost 50 years if they wasn't putting out a good
I
product.
don't think so.
They do good. We're
Well,
proud to have them.
I'm proud to have you on the show, and really.
All right, I
appreciate
hope
you
I
being
get
here.
to see it. I'll at least get to see it on the YouTube.
Oh,
that
you'll
you
see
put
it
up.
on YouTube, and
Yeah.
I'll make you some DVD copies.
I'll tell some of my friends that are here in Nashville, you know,
Yeah.
that might tune in and
Yeah, and
catch
there's
it.
19 other counties if you just go to Needham.
Just not in Rutherford or Williamson.
Right, not Rutherford, Williams. Some of the counties, like I say, they have more government announcements and just community.
Well, that's
type
what they
things.
do in Murfreesboro on that Channel 19.
Right, they
It's
don't
all
really have
government.
actual shows.
Since you left me, since you walked out, all I got left is complete total breakdown. I bet you would laugh now if you could just see me. All that I feel is complete total breakdown. Never knew losing. My mind would be easy. All that is left, baby, is complete total breakdown. My heart is breaking. Could I be mistaken? All that seems real is complete total breakdown.
Well, thanks for being our guest on
All right.
Mystery Us,
All
Larry
right.
Martin.
All right. Thank you.
Dewdrop Jamboree, March 19th in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.